If you're thinking about buying your first home in Philadelphia, but you're scared your credit score is like too low to even bother trying, then this video is for you. What's up guys? I'm Steve Buzogany, Philly's real estate agent. And today I'm going to be breaking down the credit score you actually need to buy a home here in Philadelphia. And by the way, that's not the number you think you need. It's not the number like your uncle told you either, like the Thanksgiving table. It's like, this is gonna be like a real number, like a hard fact number, because probably much to your surprise, it's actually a lot lower than you think. And a lot of people are kind of sitting on the sidelines and renting for no good reason when they could actually just be out there buying a house. Okay, here's the thing. I've been doing this for over 14 years in Philadelphia, and I've helped buyers close on more than like $100 million worth of real estate at this point. And if I had like $1 for every time someone told me that my credit's not good enough, I could probably buy my next investment property with straight cash. I wouldn't even need a mortgage. So that's the whole purpose of today's video. Like today, we're gonna be going through like the exact credit score you need to buy a house here in Philly. What the score actually does to your monthly payment, how it affects it, because it does. And the biggest myths that hold people back, and how to bump your score up fast so that if you are, maybe you're not there yet, but if you're trying to get there, then we can get that number down for you, your monthly payment down for you. So let's get into it. All right, real quick, before we dive in, if you get any value out of this video or any other video I've done, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more Philly home buying insights. I put out a new video every single week to help first-time home buyers and first-time home sellers here on the channel. And I'd obviously hate for you to miss it. So definitely like and subscribe. And all right, let's get into the credit scores. Okay, so number one, the actual credit score you need to buy a house, and what is it, and let's talk about it. So because this is kind of like the part that everybody kind of gets wrong. A lot of people think you need like this like 750 to 800 credit score or something like that to even just walk in the door or have the conversation, and that's not actually true at all. The truth is that most first-time home buyers in Philly are actually using something called an FHA loan, and that minimum credit score, believe it or not, is actually 580. Yes, 580, sub 600. And that's all you need. So, and some lenders actually, they'll actually even go a little bit lower if you have enough money. Like maybe you might be a little cash heavy. They'll take a lower credit score if you put more down. Now, if you want a conventional loan, that's usually like 620. And if you're a veteran using a VA loan, then there's technically no set minimum at all. But most lenders want to see around like a 620 credit score for the most part. So when people ask me like, what's the mortgage credit score that they might need, then I'll tell them the honest answer somewhere in the low 600. And that kind of gets people in the game. But at the end of the day, it's not like the 750, 800 credit score that a lot of people think that's where the bar is. So it's a lot lower of a bar and a more attainable bar than most people think. So as far as like, I guess finding out what your credit score is and how that's going to affect your monthly payment. Look, if you've been following my channel for long enough, then you know what I'm going to say. Talk to the lender first. I am going to get that on a t-shirt at some point because I have to say it so often. All right, number two, and this is actually the one that matters more for your wallet than it does anything else. So your credit score doesn't just like decide if you get approved or if you don't get approved. It actually decides how much you pay every single month for the next 30 years. No big deal. Okay, so let's talk actual real dollars. Let's say you're buying a house for $300,000 here in Philadelphia, and let's say you're somebody with a really strong credit score. Like let's say you're 760. And by the way, in mortgage world, anything over like 760 is considered perfect. So if you're like out there flaunting an 800 credit score, look, it doesn't mean anything. If I have a 760 and you have an 820 or something, we are the same in the eyes of the bank. We are equal. So you don't have to, if you have an 800 credit score, it's okay to get your credit pulled and drop to a 798 or something, or a 795. That's totally fine because anything over 760 is basically considered perfect. But anyway, back to my situation, my example here. Let's say somebody's got a 760 credit score, might get an interest rate that keeps their payment low, but somebody with a 620 credit score, same house, same everything, could be paying a couple $100 more per month just because of that score. So it makes a big deal to have a 760 or a 620. So another thing I like to tell people because of this financial discrepancy here is even if you already do qualify and the number and you can get a mortgage, I always advise that it's a good thing to just, if you can bump it up even a little bit more, that's a huge help for you. So if you have a credit card that you're just holding a balance on, pay it off, bump the credit up. Or if there's a loan that you're close to paying off, like a car loan or a student loan or something, just pay it off, then go get the pre-approval because that's going to help, and that's going to help your score so much. And by the way, that doesn't make you less of a buyer or less of a person because you have to go out and maybe pay something off. I have clients in my pipeline that are 3 months, 4 months, 6 months out who they're literally working on this. They're like, Steve, I got $2,000 left on this loan I got to pay off. Once I pay that off, the credit score will adjust and my credit will jump like 25, 30 points. Great, do it. That's totally fine. I have a phone. I can set a reminder to follow up with you in 3 or 4 months. Not a problem. So, this happens all the time with a lot of people. So don't feel like you're a terrible person if you are somebody who has to pay off a loan or two before you can get to that, I guess, approvable range or a more affordable credit score range. Okay, so number 3, let's talk some myths because this is where I see people mess up the most. Myth number 1, let's go there first. Myth number 1 is I need to pay off every single debt that I have before I can buy, which is completely not true. Lenders actually don't mind seeing that you can handle a little bit of debt responsibly and that you can actually manage money. That's a good thing. Banks want to see responsibility. Myth number 2, this is kind of a big one. The myth is that people think that they should close their credit cards and to look more responsible, and please don't do that. Do not do anything like that before buying a house because closing an old card can actually drop your score because it lowers your total credit history and your available credit. So, I mean, I've literally watched people accidentally tank their own credit 2 weeks before applying. All right, myth number 3, checking my own credit score hurts my score, which is not true. You can check your own credit score on basically any kind of app or anything like that. Or even if you want to do what's called a soft credit pull, it does nothing to your score. So you can, in fact, and you probably should, check your credit score so you know where the heck in space you are in relation to where you need to be. And here's the cool thing about it is that your credit score doesn't really care that you've lived in the same row home for, 20 years, or that your grandmom's name is on the deed, or banks don't do like lovey-dovey sentimental. They just want numbers. They want to know that you can handle the numbers and that you're responsible and that you can manage debt properly. That's all. Okay, so you checked your score and you're not quite there yet. That's not a problem. We already gone over that. Not a problem. But let's say here in point number 4, we're going to go over how to improve your credit score fast. And some of this is stuff you can do in just a couple of months to really boost it up. You don't have to wait like 6 to 12 months or a year or more than a year or anything like that. First, you want to pay down your credit card balances, as I've mentioned before. And I'm not talking like making just a minimum payment. Like I'm talking like actually knock the balances down. Like the lower the balance is compared to your overall limit, the better the score. So I would say try to get under 30% of your total limit if you can. If your credit card limit is $10,000, make sure that your total debt on that card is less than $3,000. That's what I would recommend. Second, pay everything on time every time. Your payment history is like the single biggest piece of your score over everything else. So like even one late payment will really mess you up. So like just set it on auto pay and you'll never have to worry about it at all. But missing payments, that is one way to guarantee you're not getting a mortgage. Third, and I did already say this, and as I mentioned before, I'll say it again because it is that important, is do not open new credit cards or finance a new car right before you buy a house. I've seen a buyer like lose their loan approval because they like bought a new truck like a week before closing. And I'm like, what are you doing? So don't be that person. Like wait until after you buy the house. And then if you have money left over to go get a truck, fine. But don't do it before you buy the house. And sorry, I feel like I'm venting a little bit, and this is some things that we as real estate agents have to deal with. So don't mind the venting. The fourth tip I have for you is to pull your credit report and actually look to see if there's any actual errors. A huge chunk of credit reports actually have mistakes on them, and getting one fixed can actually bump your score up faster than almost anything else. All right, and last but not least, here's the part most people don't know. It's specific to here. It's specific to us here in Philadelphia. Even if your score isn't like perfect or anything like that, there are these first-time home buyer programs right here in the city and in Pennsylvania that can actually help you with your down payment and most of your closing costs. So most buyers I work with actually don't even know these programs exist unless I tell them, and that's real money left on the table. So that's a huge problem if you're a first-time buyer. And by the way, when I talk about money, like I'm talking like sometimes like $20,000 or more left on the table. So definitely something important, and I do have other videos on my channel that talk about those grants and access to that kind of money. So definitely go check those videos out as well, but I'm going to leave them out of this video for now. But when it comes to like talking about your credit score, the credit score is like only like one piece of the puzzle. Like the point I want you to walk away with is basically this. You're probably a lot closer to buying a home than you actually think you are. The number in your head is, I say the number in your head scaring you off is probably there. It's probably not as genuine as you think. So basically, here's my recommendation. Talk to a lender and let's find out. Okay, so there you have it. That's the full scoop and the real credit score that you need to buy a home here in Philadelphia. What it costs you every month, the myths to avoid, and how to get it a little bit higher in a short amount of time. If you're thinking about buying your first home here in Philly, please feel free to reach out to me. My number's right here on the screen. I'm certainly happy to help you out wherever you guys are in the process of the whole home buying, I guess, journey that it is. And by the way, no pressure at all. I'm just here to help. So if you did find this video helpful, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more Philadelphia insights. I'll see you guys on the next video.